Hey there! Welcome to Understanding Common Core Math. This video series is designed for parents and teachers who are looking to better understand the Common Core and are looking to find ways to support kids in their development of math skills. Let's talk about standard K.CC.A.1, which is all about counting to 100. Counting to 100 probably seems like a pretty boring, basic idea, and you're probably right. But this basic skill is essential to everything that we do in math. If you can count, then you have the ability to do arithmetic, algebra, and even calculus. For young kids, learning how to count provides the foundation for developing their math skills. Just like learning the alphabet is essential to reading and writing, counting is key to mathematical reasoning and problem solving. So what does this standard mean, and how can you support your child in developing his or her counting skills? The standard basically involves two primary skills. First, we want to be able to count by ones from 1 to 100. And personally, I like to think that it is important to even start introducing the number 0. So start by focusing on the single digits. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Repetition and practice will help ensure that your child has those numbers down pat. This is important because a pattern starts to emerge as we continue counting up. The next number in the list is 10. Notice that in the two-digit number, the rightmost digit returns to 0 and a 1 is placed to the left. Now 10 is a pretty powerful number in our mathematical system, but we'll come back to that a little later. If we continue counting up, we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Every time we get to a 9 in our number, the pattern is going to repeat. For the next number in our list, 9 is going to return to 0, and the 1 is going to go up by 1 to 2. Therefore, our next number is 20. As you know, the process and the pattern are going to repeat as we continue counting up. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. The 9 again returns to 0, and the 2 goes up by 1 to become a 3, and we end up with 30. You get the idea. Helping your child recognize this pattern is critical. If your kid can master counting to 100, then he or she can count to any number, no matter how large that number may be. So, how can you help your child learn the numbers from 0 to 100? Ask them to count things around the house. Send them on a scavenger hunt to find things that tally up to 100. Maybe you have a spare change jar that has 100 pennies, or maybe there are 100 tiles on the kitchen floor. Be creative. Count with your child. Even make a game out of counting to 100. Now, like I mentioned earlier, 10 is a powerful number in mathematics. The entire system that we use for identifying numbers, saying numbers, writing numbers, and counting is based on the number 10. Therefore, the second skill that we want to help your child master is the ability to count by tens. Skip counting by 10 is one way to develop a sense of how important the number 10 is, as well as to learn the names of the numbers that are multiples of 10. We want to be able to skip count up to 100. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Skip counting is a skill that students will continue to develop as they work on their math skills. To help your child learn how to count by tens, help them group 100 pennies or other objects into piles of 10. Have them count the total number of pennies by 10 until they reach 100. Any chance that you have to encourage your kid to count by tens will help this skill become ingrained and automatic. Ultimately, we want the abilities to count and to recognize numbers to become second nature. Hopefully this video has provided a little insight into the meaning of this Common Core standard. If you found this video helpful, please check out the other videos in this series and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.